Hey,
Hey,
Jeff.
hey, Bill, how you doing? And
Uh,
happy Tuesday night. A little bit rainy here in Toronto. How's the weather there?
we had a deluge of water about an hour ago, and it relieved some of the humidity. It was so hot. I think 38 humidex for 40, something crazy like that. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's a bit of a break.
yeah, it's a little bit cooler now. So like I'm sitting in the car. It's 23 degrees outside. So
Mhm.
it's come down. I got out on a bike ride this morning. The sun was pretty intense, but the temperature was still uh, manageable. Beat the sun and I beat the rain. So
Yeah.
yeah, humidity crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome to
Ah,
Bitcoin Brody and the Crypto Cadets. I'm Jeff Brody, and I'm joined with Bill
Bill
Sheltima.
Skeleton. Yeah, hey, everybody.
Yeah. So,
Welcome.
let's see what we got on the go tonight. Bulls are flexing their muscle again.
Yeah,
We're showing
things seem
some,
to be a little bit stable this week by the looks of it.
yeah, we're showing some green.
hmm
Um,
hmm
Less unpredictable red. What else we got going on is the OSEC, Ontario Securities Commission, cracking down on 4 crypto trading platforms. We'll cover that, and we'll talk a little bit about fear and greed, and my thoughts on the Wyckoff accumulation, and what your thoughts are on that, Bill.
Yeah, sounds good.
So a week ago,
hmm
we saw the market bottom down. I think Bitcoin hit 29,000. Was
Yeah.
that you said
I
you had
think I
got an
think
order
even
in on that?
28. I saw
Yeah,
a wick hit 28 and change actually. And
yeah,
I had I think a day or two before, actually the day before I said a buy-in at 30,000 and a buy-in at 29,000.
yeah.
And I hit both of them. I made me very happy. I timed it just nicely actually. And now I'm just kind of watching it and seeing it kind of, well, it's done a nice jump to 36 and change and 35 and a half. So it looks like it's stabilizing nicely right now. Yeah, so it was, yeah, great experience. And yeah, just watching to see what happens.
Yeah, so the bulls are definitely showing that they want this market to continue.
hmm
Um, so we'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end.
hmm
Welcome everyone. Um, what I wanted to say was neither one of us are um, financial advisors. Nothing here is to be construed as financial advice,
hmm
and it's for education and entertainment purposes.
Absolutely. Yeah. We love doing this and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Learning a lot.
So you heard the news about the Ontario Security Commission clamping down on foreign crypto trading platforms. What's your thoughts
hmm
about that? Has it got you concerned? Are you worried?
Yeah,
Being that we're in Ontario,
yeah, being in Ontario, I would be worried if it was an immediate shutdown or they'd only give you a couple of weeks. Then it would be you'd be scammering to figure out what you want to do, what exchanges you want to start using. We have time, I think you were saying, till the end of the year, likely before any big moves are going to happen. So it's time to start looking at other alternatives for an exchange to use
yeah,
and to get familiar with those. The nice thing, I use KuCoin pretty much primarily as my main exchange. I
right,
have ShakePay, and I just use it for the free satoshis every morning.
yeah,
But that's kind of sad because I really like their platform. I've gotten really used to it. I can navigate it nicely. So now I have to find another one, learn it, and change everything, move everything out. Either I cash out on some of the coins if they end up doing well in the next few months, move my Bitcoin into a wallet, hold a hot or cold wallet, and
yeah,
decide what to do with the altcoins that I have. And yeah, and then just kind of keep going forward. So it's good to have that strategy in place, what you want to do, so that you're not caught off guard and then that you're ready to go. So and one thing I haven't gotten is a cold storage wallet yet. So that's going to give me the impetus to do that
yeah,
and move my Bitcoin and the ones that I hold dear to my heart off of the
yeah.
exchange.
Exactly. Good things. Ledger, Trezor, and are good hardware wallets. Then there's also you've got your warm wallets, your like Trust Wallet and the likes of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a look at the tokens that I have on the two exchanges. As I mentioned, I have a fraction of what I had at one time in the heat of the moment of the February March cryptocurrency. I'm down to under 10 different tokens in total, and they're ones that I'm kind of long-term committed to. I feel comfortable with them.
Yeah.
So I checked everything that I have will go on to onto the hardware wallet. So I'm happy with that. There's my eComey. I may end up holding on their own wallet. So we'll see about that.
Mm-hmm.
So all in all, I think it's interesting. I mean, the announcement from Binance was to settle up and remove your crypto out as quickly as possible. And the official news was that we need to settle up all of our trading, close all of our positions by December 2021.
Right.
So, that was the Binance note. You take a look at what Binance did in the US when they were called to task. So they closed out, did a geofence to ban people from accessing their Binance.com. So a geofence, what it does is it basically checks to see if your IP address belongs to, in this case, the United States, and in our case, Canada, and they can ban us from accessing the crypto.com site so that they can stay in compliance with the Ontario Securities Exchange Commission. Right now, it's only the Ontario Securities Exchange Commission that has taken this action.
Mm-hmm.
There are the Canadian Securities Association and some of the other organizations, Alberta and BC, have indicated that they're taking matters into their own hands and not following along. So at this point, other Canadian users haven't been served notice yet.
Yeah. So why do you think they're doing it?
Well, basically, I think it's the influence of the financial organizations. So the FinTrack saying that, hey, this, with the ability now to trade derivatives, and what derivatives are is that you're able to trade a stock on a cryptocurrency. So you could say trade Tesla, and you could trade it as a cryptocurrency, and it's supposedly backed by a Tesla stock. So when you start doing things like that, you do derivatives. Derivatives put you into securities, right? So when I look back on April, in April, for the April 19th, I think it was, when they announced that everyone had to comply and join the IIROC, IIROC.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that it said is if you're just a simple crypto trading platform, a CTP,
Mm-hmm.
and you buy and you settle immediately and receive your crypto assets, then you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start doing things like futures trading, longs, shorts, and derivatives, then you're getting to, my understanding is that was the line of demarcation between why they're, and ultimately they're doing this to protect Ontario investors. That's their position. So we want to protect you from taking those large profits on those great opportunities. I mean, we want to protect you from having the rug pulled out from under you and losing all your money.
Okay, that's the motive. That's so sincere.
So that's the whole motivation behind this locking things down. So there's still other options. I mean, there is the DEXs, the decentralized exchanges that are out there that we can continue to trade on. So you can buy and sell on the Binance Smart Chain without a Binance account. You can buy and sell on Uniswap, on SushiSwap, right? So there are different exchanges that you can use to do this.
Yeah,
decentralized exchanges, right?
Yeah.
You basically connect your wallet, either a hardware or a software wallet, and you do trading directly in and out of your wallet.
Right. Yeah.
So we can continue on. So I think the big thing is come back to the, not your keys, not your crypto. So it's to really consider moving those funds off of the exchanges, putting them back into your wallet where you have control over them. So I think that's the writings on the wall. I think that all Canadians need to be aware of this. And I think, what I'm going to say is I think that we as Canadians, and I think for all crypto users around the world, is we need to have a voice which represents the retail investor, right?
Yeah.
We know that the institutional investors have representation.
Yeah.
So it's time that the retail investors gather together and create an association, so where we can have a voice. There are certain aspects like you cannot. So as a retail investor in the stock market, you can't get in on pre-IPOs because it's too risky, right? Risky. And it's to protect you from losing your money by investing in shoddy investments. But it also protects you, it prevents you from seeing the massive gains by getting your money into an organization before they go into the initial public offering, the IPOs. I think that, so it's these things like the initial token offerings, like the ITOs, the IDOs, so initial project offerings, initial token, initial coin offerings, that getting in early on this. And yes, we understand that there's a risk, right? It's a risk versus reward. We put $100 into a initial project. We think of our friend there who put $100 into a meme coin, and it turned into hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Because he got in early.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like the thing about the entire cryptocurrency market. For new investors, for experienced investors, for all of us investors to understand, this is a speculative market.
Yeah.
We can lose everything that we put into the market.
Yeah.
Right. We saw that the market is wildly volatile for whatever reason, be it market manipulation or just the way the weather moves. Where we saw Bitcoin go from $65,000 and touch down to $28,000, $25,000. Seen a 50 to 55% retracement. So that tells you that we're dealing in a volatile market, and hence it comes back to, what did we say with great choice comes great risk.
Yeah.
Right. And we talk about the sovereignty. I think that, one of the things that we talked about early was that sovereignty of choice, being able to, when we get choice, we accept the risk. Nobody else is going to underwrite any monies that we put in or protect us if it's gone.
Yeah.
Right.
With great freedom. Yeah.
The same way with great freedom comes, great responsibility. That was the statement.
Yeah. That was
it. And, to the same thing, it's like if we put $100 in and it turns into $100,000, if we get so lucky, the only thing you have at the end of the day to pay for is you have to pay the tax man.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the big thing is, I think there needs to be some type of, sophisticated investor designation for crypto users who want to play in these other markets and understand and accept the risk for doing so.
Yeah.
I'd like us to, as a group of individuals, is to think about that, right? I'm okay to risk a percentage of my investment for an opportunity on reward. In essence, it's like, some people go down and they put $1,000 on the Lotto Max.
Yeah.
Nobody's there to tell them not to do that.
That's true.
It just happens. And you can do reoccurring purchases with those Lotto Max too. They make it nice and easy for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, nothing wrong with people putting $100 into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin, or whatever meme coin you want. It's like, the risk. So,
yeah, exactly.
So there's that. So I think there's a time for representation for the retail investors, and for us to have that consideration.
Mm-hmm.
So, that said, if you like this content and you're finding value in it, drop us a like. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe and the notification bell. Share it out. Let your friends know.
Yeah.
The YouTube algorithm is not going to show our videos to anybody unless you're sharing them out and you're liking and comments. So tell us what you like. Tell us what you'd like to hear.
Yeah.
Give us some feedback. Let us know if we're hitting the mark. I appreciate everyone who's joined us tonight and who's hung in through the broadcast. That said, here we are in the, we talked about the Wyckoff accumulation schematic, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk a little bit about, where I think we are, because people were calling bear market, and and people are calling bull market. So it's the bulls versus the bears. And I think what we saw is, I think we went into what they call, on the they call it a bear trap. So you're still in an upward movement when you zoom out, but we had that dip, right? And we had that dip from May 19th, when we had the sell-off climax of the Wyckoff distribution model. So from the 19th and then to this weekend, that's about 5 weeks, almost 6 weeks, right? So we're almost 6 weeks in from that initial drop. And the reason I think that we've gone through, we saw the Wyckoff spring. So that's where the value of Bitcoin and the value of Ethereum dipped below the sell-off climax. And it marginally dipped below. And then it came back up. That's what we call the spring in phase C of the Wyckoff accumulation.
Right.
And then now, I believe this weekend, we saw the test, right? So it started going up, and then we had the test, and it went back down to, I think Bitcoin touched back down to around 30K.
Yeah.
And Ethereum was down around in the high 1700s. Right. So I think that we're well into phase C, moving into phase D, the Wyckoff accumulation, which means the green light has been given for the prices to rise.
Yes. It kind of feels that way.
Yeah. And that said, this is still speculation.
Yeah.
Right. So be cautious, be careful.
Yeah.
It could
surprise us.
Yeah, things could surprise us, right? Because it's a little bit, if someone wants to hold that door open a little bit longer, we know all they'd have to do is put selling pressure on. And a few million Ethereum moving will definitely, or thousands of Bitcoin moving will definitely flip the market quickly.
Yeah.
We see the fear index touched down to 10 last week, and it recovered to around 20. So we're still deep in fear, but actually that's really good for the market, because the market's not going to explode too quickly. Volumes are still low, and we're starting to build. So there's confidence, right? I was having a conversation with my partner, and he's like, well, I really don't feel comfortable putting my money back in right now.
Yeah.
Right. I think I just want to sit it. I know I've got it. I know the market. I feel the market's going to go up. I know the market's going to go up, but I really don't feel comfortable putting the money back in. I still have, I still have other ways of generating, and I still have lots of exposure in crypto. So I think I'm going to stay where I am. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I went 100% back in again because I want to get my gains back. My plan is really to help offset my retirement fund.
Yeah.
I want some fun money, Bill.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with fun money. I know you have your eyes set on that electric F-150.
Yeah, I think that F-150 trumps the Tesla. Trumps the Tesla. So I think
Yeah.
that's where we are. I feel we're in that. I feel we're in that ramp up, and we're going to see a few dips along the way. It's like I think we're going to start moving into an Elliott wave theory. So Richard D. Wyckoff, if you want to understand what the Wyckoff is, you can go and look that up. And then there's the John Elliott, the Elliott wave theory, that these are all based on emotions of manipulating the market.
Yeah, and we're emotional beings, and we make our decisions based on emotions, good and bad. And
yeah, we justify it with logic.
Yeah, with a hope and a dream.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I'm extremely optimistic of where the market's going. I think Ethereum's been rallying hard, and some people are speculating that perhaps the Ethereum rally is in the the pre-launch of the EIP 1559, where they're introducing the token burning. There was some really good news that they did testing on the test net, and that was successful. So they feel that they're going to be rolling that out in early July. I don't know that it's necessarily going to change much, but we've already seen the fees drop drastically on Ethereum because of the layer 2 and the side chains that have been introduced with Matic, Zilliqua, Immutable. There's a number of side chains and parachains that have been introduced to take the Ethereum traffic load. So it's kind of like the way the 407 in Toronto added another set of channels of lanes to move traffic past Toronto. That's what these side chains are doing for the Ethereum network.
Yeah, moving forward. Yeah. Step by step.
I mean, I would really love to see a flippening happen, even if it's only for a day or two, where basically Ethereum gets up to a $1 trillion market cap, and it touches or rallies up to Bitcoin. So like Bitcoin right now is sitting around $1 trillion at 36,000 per Bitcoin, and Ethereum's around 200 billion. So $1 trillion market cap for Bitcoin, and if Ethereum's at 200 billion, it's got to go up 5 times to equal Bitcoin. So that means a $10,000 to $12,000 Ethereum to get close to a flippening. I believe that, and I believe that the utility that we see on Ethereum with the DeFi and everything that's happening, it's quite possible. And this isn't a negative thing for Bitcoin. It's a good thing to bring more money into the crypto space.
Yeah.
And it'll increase if Ethereum hits $1 trillion, value of Bitcoin is going to amplify, in my opinion, exponentially. This is what's going to push Bitcoin into a $10 trillion asset, right? Because we actually need more crypto projects to have greater than $1 trillion market cap. Not the entire space, each project, right? So Bitcoin, multi-trillion dollars, Ethereum, $1 trillion or even multi-trillion dollars. Cardano, BNB, Dogecoin. Okay, Dogecoin.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Dogecoin went from being a joke meme coin to actually being a real project where they now have real development teams. Like, oh my God.
Who would have thought?
Well, there's a lot of crazy things going on. You know, XRP, XLM. There's so many exciting things going on in this space. So I'm really excited and optimistic, and not to be confused with the Ethereum roll-up optimistic, but I have great optimism that the bull market is continuing, and I think that this mini bear market that we saw, this
Yeah, it was
5 or
very
6
short.
weeks, played an important role in extending the bull market.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think the good thing is that when, bad news travels faster, good news travels fast. So I think it's brought in a lot of visibility for the cryptocurrency market. Even this whole Binance banning, OSEC thing, I think it's bringing visibility into the cryptocurrency space. I mean,
Yeah.
I go around. I was in the Uber the other day. Asked the guy, what do you think about crypto? And he says, oh, I was in like 4 or 5 years ago, and I got out, and haven't done anything in it. So it's like people have been in, and they got in and got out, and so
Yeah.
I think we're going to see people moving in again. I think
Yeah.
this summer is going to be explosive. They're calling it DeFi summer. I think it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I'm excited about it.
I am as well. Okay, Bill. Well, I think
All right, Jeff.
that's what we got. We'll
Yeah.
talk again soon this week with
Yeah.
another update. Hold tight. Be safe and secure, and
Stay
let's
cool.
all let's all hope that stay cool. Definitely stay cool. Way cool. Stay cool. All
Yeah.
right, folks. Have a great evening.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. How do I?
Yeah, when you do it on the phone, it's a little trickier.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I end this thing. More. Let's private cancel. Oh, there it is.